Welcome to a brand new episode of the Mike Herrera podcast. Great episode for you. We got some voicemails. I'm going to answer your questions. If you want to call in and be part of it, the number is 360-830-6660. I had a story for you guys. Now I'm trying to remember what it was. I don't remember. Something crazy happened the other night. But hey, I'll think of it. MxPx, we're coming to Quebec, bringing the Ataris, Quebec City, and Montreal. Tickets are moving fast, so if you don't have tickets and you want to come out, please don't wait. MxPx.com for those tickets. That's in October. I know it's a little ways away, but it is going to fly. And I'm talking it, meaning time. Time is going to fly. All right. MxPx, we got merchandise, we got vinyl, we got music, everything you love about us, right? MxPx.com. All right. I did my due diligence. I appreciate you. Thank you. Let's get into it. Let's get into your voicemails. I'm not going to waste any more of your time with anything else. Voicemails. Let's go. Let's find out what you guys want to know. Here we go.
Hey, Mike, it's Derek from Lexington, Kentucky. I'm calling you while I'm driving, just like you asked everybody to do, but I got you on the speaker. On my way to the hardware store, okay, let me backtrack a little bit. I just want to talk about the PXPX. I'm a PXPX member since 2016, and that is probably the number one thing I would say and recommend is make it like a recurring thing. I don't have my calendar, but I always remember it for whatever reason. A little bit of my Christmas money, I will re-up my subscription for the year. And, honestly, the easiest thing I would recommend would be just to make it like a PayPal thing. You can do subscriptions on PayPal and it's recurring. So that's what I would recommend. Just make an annual recurring on PayPal and just bypass all the other rigmarole that you might have to do with e-commerce. Okay, so speaking of hardware, I'm actually going to pick up a couple of doors to replace some doors in my house and some other things. And, I'm starting to get more into handy stuff. I'm not a very handy guy, but trying to get better at that stuff. I like doing things for my family. And I don't know, who in the band is the handy guy? Like if you need to build a little something or whatever, or maybe make some shelves in your practice space or something. Does one of y'all do that? My bass player works on all the amps and guitars and stuff. He's very handy with that sort of thing, and I'm trying to learn how to do it, so I'm not always bugging him about it. But sort of related, I've been meaning to ask this for a while. Secret Weapon. How about you talk about that? The photo shoot for the cover. And I already know probably what you're going to say in response, but what are you guys working on? What is this weapon here? Oh, it's a secret. Right. No, seriously, what are you guys doing in the cover? What are you building, working on, etc.? All right, great. Thanks. Have fun. Talk to you later.
All right. I can't remember there's three parts to your question. What was the first part?
Backtrack a little bit. I just want to talk about the PXPX. Make it like a recurring thing.
Oh yeah, PXPX. Okay. Thanks for the call. All right, Derek, let's get into it. First of all, PXPX, PayPal subscription. That's a great idea. We may just try to do that. If there's a reason why if we don't do it, there will be a good reason why we don't. But I think that's a good enough idea to where I'm going to actually bring it to the team, mention it. Because, yes, we need a subscription model for PXPX. It's not like we're trying to, get one over on people, charging them a monthly fee or whatever. They got plenty of time to cancel the yearly subscription if they really want to. And it's, like I said, it's $30 or something. But, all right, great idea. Gonna do that. Handy. So we'll go into who's handy in the band, and then we'll go into Secret Weapon. I love this topic, by the way, the handy topic. Now, if we didn't have a lot of time to talk about it, I'm going to just hit you with the three. Who's at the top, who's in the middle, who's at the bottom. Chris gets honorable mention. I don't actually know if Chris is super handy or not. So I'm going to say he's going to be down below Tom. So, okay. First up, Yuri. Yuri's the winner. Ding, ding, ding. He won. He wins every time. He built the MxPx sign, the lit up sign behind us at our live streams in our studio. He built that himself. We asked him to. We're like, hey, we're thinking about, they put a MxPx logo behind us, lit up with lights, and he built that thing. The first iteration was super bright. All the lights were just 100%. So we asked him to fix that. And so what he did is he went in and he changed, I think just changed all the light bulbs to being less powerful light bulbs, but he might have done a few other things, put a dimmer on it, something like that. But he does a great job. He's built a bed for himself. I think he's built his fence. I think I'm sure he's built shelves, something like that. But Yuri is the handyman. Anytime I need anything, I can do light fixtures, but if I'm busy and there's a lot to do, I'm having Yuri do the light fixtures. I'm having to do any electrical. Yuri's good at electrical. He's good at woodwork. Now, that being said, Yuri's the best. Tom is not bad. Tom's very handy as well. And if I have a project like the wood walls, I went straight to Tom. I was like, hey, I want you to be in charge of the wood walls as far as math, budget. You make sure you tell us how much wood we need to get. Let's go get it. And even go get it. Go get the wood. Bring it back here. I'll be here to help, but I need you to be in charge of the wood wall. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you've seen any of our live streams on MxPx, go to MxPx YouTube page. There's a bunch of live streams we've posted over the years. But the last couple of years, the last year really, for the new record, we have the look. It's like it's wood, it's a studio wall. It's like these wood displacement blocks, and there's blocks everywhere, and it just looks really cool, and it actually sounds really good too. That's really the main reason was sound, but you don't want it to look bad either, so that's the idea. Tom's really good. Like I said, I don't know if Chris is good or not. I think he has good tools. So like a while back in practice, I was like, hey, I really want to countersink my basses, and I don't really have a good this or that. I don't know if it was that job. It was some job that I needed, and he's like, yeah, I'll bring my toolkit. And so he brought his toolkit, and it was like, dude, it wasn't giant or anything, but it was just like a nice, really, really nicely put together toolkit. I was like, this is something that I would like someday. Thinking to myself, like, you could have it. Just put your mind to it. Focus on a goal. But, and of course, all these, months later, I don't have a good toolkit. I go out and I'll buy just whatever tool it is I need. I'll go buy that. That's it. And someday I'll have it all, and I'll need a container to put it in. So me, you guessed it, I am not the handy person in the band. And I'm like you, maybe. I don't know, maybe I'm worse. I want to help out my family. I want to do things for my family. It doesn't always work out. So last week when we had that storm that happened, I think that was the second storm. So it was not the storm that the light fixture went out on, but we've been having a lot of storms here in Texas. And one of those storms, our whole kitchen went out. Remember that story? Well, we got it fixed, but the light fixture was ruined. And it was the one right outside our back door. And it's an outdoor light, but it's not rated for wet. It's got holes on the top, holes on the bottom. And we got one that has a covering on top, so the rain comes down and it doesn't hit the light fixture. It doesn't get in the electrical inner workings. So went to Lowe's, got a new light fixture. Actually got two. One for that one that's kind of going out, or we got the replacement for when that one goes out. So went to the store, got it going. I was like, Rhodes, help me out. I need you to help me with these light fixtures. Because light fixtures, to be honest, like I've been doing light fixtures for a while in my life now. And once you do a few, it kind of makes sense. You're like, I get it. You know, left and right, make sure there's no power on, don't get electrocuted. Here we go. Left and right meaning it's not left and right really. It's white, black, negative, positive, and then there's usually a ground wire as well. So anyway, I asked Rhodes, I was like, hey, help me out. I filmed him, and I literally just told him what to do, but he did it, and he was having trouble with the wire nuts, and I was like, okay, you got to twist those wires together, but there's one wire that's really hard and one wire that's not, and so you use the one that's not and wrap that around the hard wire, then put the nut on, and you're good to go. And he was like, and he did a good job. It took him a few to kind of get what I was trying to say, what I was trying to tell him. Once he got it, and he did the next one the same, and doom, doom, doom. And we tested it. It worked. He was so excited, and the look on his face when that light came on and he realized he wired that light, that was as proud as I can be as a dad. Like I'm tearing. I'm kind of choking up a little bit. Good thing I got sunglasses on because like my eyes are watering, and I was just so proud. And it's such a little thing, and I think those little things are honestly some of the best parts of life. I was looking at a video that Ryan Holiday put out the other day. He's a philosopher. He's an author. He's known as a philosopher, but he's a Stoic author and philosopher, and talks about Stoicism. And he was just talking about how when you're in line with your kid, or your kid's like doing homework, and you're just like, I wish we could just be done with this homework, or I'm tired of waiting in line with these kids. He was just basically saying, you know, this is an opportunity to be with your kids, because before we know it, those kids are going to be grown up, and there'll be a different era and a different time, and you're gonna remember this time, this era, and you're gonna long for that time. You're gonna have nostalgia for that. So just like we have nostalgia for albums and bands and music, and we have nostalgia for the eras of our life. And if you have kids, you know, that's a big part of your life when you have kids, because I mean, you gotta do everything you can not to screw them up, not to ruin it, you know. And so I thought it was something we all know, but it's a good little reminder. He gives us little reminders. So bravo, Ryan Holiday. What's up? All right, he has a new book out. I think it's called Right Thing Right Now, if I remember correctly. It's I think it's about justice, or maybe his last one was, but it's a new book. I just bought it on Amazon on Kindle, so I'm going to read it on the plane. I haven't started it yet, but I saw a little excerpt from it, and it was just like things about, I don't want to try to like tell you what his book is about, because like I said, I haven't read it, and I'm trying to remember from memory what this little thing said, but it was just something for me that really like hit me, and I was like, oh, that's me. You know, like the person that really tries so hard to do things right, to be a good person, and then I'm a jerk to my wife. I say the wrong thing, and she's annoyed, piffed, mad, ruins my day. You know, I usually get over it later, but I kick myself. I tell myself, why'd you say that? I'm sure husbands, you know this. Why'd you say that? happens all the time. I mean, not daily, but sometimes daily. Sometimes, you know, you're just like, man, I need to go back to bed. Whatever it is, I don't know why I did that. So yeah, that's very real. And so like looking at Ryan's post and just seeing a little excerpt from his book, I was like, I need to read that. So I'll let you know how it goes. All right. Yeah. Let's you wanted to know about Secret Weapon. So I'll get on with that. But I'm the least handy in the band, but I am the most driven. I'll tell you that. I want to get things done, and I will make them happen. And I get everybody together, and we get, you know, like making that wood wall was amazing because the whole band got together. We got our friends together, and we just had people staining and cutting and sanding, and it was just a whole thing. And it was so much fun. But hey, it was also like, man, I wish we could just get this done. Is this ever going to be done? It was such a big job. And it's another thing where it's like, now I kind of have nostalgia for that time. Like, that was a really cool time. It was right before, it was before a bunch of shows we had done, and we were kind of like we were getting the live stream room back ready, and that wasn't ready yet. So it was a really cool time. And now it's done, now that wall is done, and we can go and use it and enjoy it. All right. So Secret Weapon was an idea cover. It was like, okay, let's make a picture of our idea. And the idea was, let's be down in like some dark basement, some lab, some secret bunker where we're making this secret weapon, right? That's the idea. Excuse me. That's the idea. I got the hiccups. Should I hold my breath? So we went to Seattle, and we got together with the photographer. Honestly, I can't even remember his name. That's like, I didn't know this question was going to come up, so I would have looked it up, but I will put his name in the show notes. I'll find it. But I mean, it's just years ago. I can't remember everything. I'm sorry. But he kind of had his production team, and they like set up this whole elaborate setup in this house. It was in the basement of a house, and we did the set. And what we were building, really nothing. I mean, we were just faking it the whole time, right? But to us, the secret weapon was MxPx building our music. Our music is the secret weapon. It's like, but really turning it around to the audience, it's meant to be what the song is about. You are your own secret weapon. So really what we should have been building, and hindsight's 2020, is a poking at you punk. We should have had a robot. But I mean, think about the year. Robots are sci-fi in the year 2013, 20. I don't even know. It's probably earlier than that. It was early. It was 2009, 2010, like somewhere in there. It was before Tumbledown sort of like even hit hard. So yeah, robots were not like they are now, where they're on the cusp of being a product you can just buy, and I think you can buy it, but yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking about what the cover could have been. If we did the cover nowadays, it would have been the Pokin' at Ya Punk, maybe as like Iron Man, or like Pokin' at Ya Punk as Wolverine, getting his weapons put in, that titanium blades put into his body. Something cool. I don't know. But that was a really fun photo shoot. It was a fun cover shoot. We did the cover, but we also walked around that basement with flashlights and filmed it. And there's footage that I think the record label Tooth and Nail has. And they used it for sort of the promo images that come out for songs and albums. And they used that. So we're like looking around the basement, and it's dark. And then we did other photos for the album, including one where we're just in this field, and we're wearing our coveralls, and we're just like, whoa, what is that? And in the field was nothing. We were acting. It was like a green screen acting job, but we were just acting like there was this giant spaceship, rocket ship built in this field. And then the artist added that, the graphic artist. So we had fun with that. But yeah, it wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't anything really, really overly thought out. It was just like, hey, let's put this lab together with maps and blueprints and doohickeys and tools and things that look cool, right? And yeah, that's what we did. It would be different if we did it today. It would be different, but I'm not going to say what we did was bad. I mean, it was for that era. It was what we were doing then. Yeah, I liked it. Thank you. Thanks for asking. Thanks for the question. If you want to call in, I could use a few voicemails. The number's 360-830-6660. Always, it's always nice to fill up the queue so that I don't have to worry about running out. But all right, let's get to the next one.
Hello, Mike. This is Michael again, and I wanted to say many thanks for answering my question about music videos. I do have another question for you, and this one is another one with a bunch of smaller related questions that you can answer all at once. And that is, what is the difference between being in a band that has one person write all of the music and lyrics and one in which multiple members are songwriters? For the other members that are not songwriters, is there a difference in terms of how they get to offer their input and the form that it takes? I know that most musicians are in and out of bands all the time, and in terms of the type of band that they're in, my impression as a non-musician is that it's a bit like being a football player. For those listeners that don't follow American football, when players are growing up and playing in various leagues as youngsters, most of them spend some years playing on offense and other years playing on defense. By the time they get to the NFL, they've played a bunch of both offense and defense and know what it takes to be successful doing either one. As a musician, is there a difference in the mentality and approach that one needs to have to be successful in one kind of band versus the other? Or is it that one just needs to be the best musician that one can be and then live or die by that? And so to sum up, is there a different mindset that you have to have based on what type of band it is and what your role in the band is? Oh, and regarding that Technotronic video that I brought up last time, it was shot in a warehouse in London with the three of them, some backing dancers, and a dance choreographer. So it looks like it was shot on the cheap. Ironically, it sounds like they needed to rush through it pretty quickly so they could get out on tour opening for Madonna, who's the absolute undisputed queen of expensive music videos. But little ironies like that are what makes life amusing. Anyway, love the podcast, and many thanks again for taking the time to answer our questions.
Great question, Michael. All right, yes. What's the difference? To answer your question just straight up, yes, you do have to have a different mindset in different bands. So for me in Goldfinger, it's different than me in MxPx. Obviously, in MxPx, I'm in charge. I'm sort of one of the leaders of the band. With Goldfinger, I'm not in charge. I'm just along for the ride. I have input. I can give my opinion on things or whatever. I definitely do that. But it's different. You know, I'm following. I'm supporting. I'm a supporting role. I'm laying down those fat bass lines. So I liked your analogy with American football. It is true. When you're a studio musician, a traveling, touring musician, and you're just a hired gun, you can go here. You can play guitar for somebody, auxiliary guitar, lead, rhythms, acoustic, maybe go over to bass guitar, backing vocals. Yeah, there's a lot of things that bands might need to be filled, including bands like Goldfinger. You know, like we always have somebody that can play guitar, you know, second guitar. Usually, right now it's Phil. Phil's been for quite a while, but so it's not just Charlie on lead guitar. We have, and it's not just John on rhythm guitar with his vocal. Like he likes another guitar player just to fill it all in, so he can do his thing. And every band's a little different. And with the MxPx, obviously we've been around a long time and we've been together a long time, and we know, yeah, there is a dynamic though. There is psychology to everything. There is. I mean, the way I bring up new things to the band, I need to think about that. Like, okay, what are they doing right now? Are they busy? Are they in the middle of something? Maybe, maybe not. Do I need an answer right now? I need to communicate, hey, this is urgent, or don't worry about it. Because what happens when you text and nobody texts back and you're like, all right, what's up with that? Well, maybe they're just busy. Maybe they're truly just busy and they're not trying to ghost you. So things like that are something that everybody can relate to. You know, you don't have to be in a band for that. But I think it's similar. It's certain bands you jump into and there's a dynamic that if you don't play your cards right, they're going to kick you out pretty soon, because you just need to integrate yourself in a right way into a group of people. Touching on the songwriting part of it, I don't know what it's like to be in a band where everybody writes, because I've never been in a band like that, but I mean, I've definitely experienced songs where we've all written a song together, and that's fun. I mean, that's cool. It's different. But for me, I've always written my songs from a personal place and from almost like a journal diary type place where I'm getting personal. I'm tapping into. Not every song is personal, or the ideas aren't personal about it, but I'm tapping into my psyche, into my brain, into my heart, and I'm trying to write songs. And when you involve a big group of people, they're all trying to write a song, it becomes about what's going to make this song the catchiest, the most biggest hit. And you even do that with lyrics. You write lyrics so that they're catchy. You write lyrics so that they're better than the other lyric that somebody else just came up with. So that, I think, is the main difference that I can tell, is you're going to have a more business style song when you have a bunch of people writing. Now, okay, you're talking about a band. They're all invested in this. They all have heart in the band. And it's not like a bunch of songwriters in Nashville just like writing songs. That may be a little different, and you can still put your heart into those songs. Yes, absolutely. And you can probably put your heart into the Nashville songwriting team as well. Like if you, it's like, I don't want to name names. And then there's nothing wrong with having a team of songwriters on a song. Like I've collabed with people and written songs with people. There's nothing wrong with that. But you're going to get a certain type of song. That's just straight up. So like when it's MxPx, the reason why we have songs that have heart, and I'm not saying every song has heart or every song is great, whatever. I have some throwaways too. But they come from a real place. And then, to answer your question about how do the non-songwriters contribute to the music, excuse me, how do the non-songwriters contribute? Well, they add their ideas. They add ideas as far as how do we do the song start to finish. So the arrangement, that's very valuable. Like when I write lyrics and a verse and a chorus and a bridge and a riff, that song is not done. It could be done, but it's not done. It's not an MxPx song yet. So we got to bring it to the guys. Yuri's drums, Tom's guitar, my bass. It all really just molds together, and it's a better taste. So when you make chili, the day you make that chili, right when you make that chili, it's going to have it tastes good. You let that sit overnight. Probably put it in the fridge and reheat it, something like that. I don't know. I'm not going to give you too many details. Whatever it is you do, the next day, it's going to taste even better. It's going to taste more together. Traditionally, not every time. And that's what it's like bringing songs to the band guys, to MxPx, is we mix it up. We mix it up and we finish it. So I kind of knead the dough and I put all the ingredients in and I mix it up, but then it's just dough. And so I come to the guys and then they grab it with their hands and they're shaping it and they're adding their ideas and their opinions. And that's really one of my favorite parts about making music. And we're going to be doing that this summer. And, you know, we're going to be having a good time with new songs. You know, I don't want to say too much about the timeline because I don't want to get people too hyped too early, because these things take a long time. It takes usually 6 months to come up with an album. And, you know, we haven't even gotten in the studio yet. So we'll see. You know, we're going to start soon. But typically, I would say 6 months for the music, and then it's ready to record. Like, what? You haven't even recorded yet? I'm not saying it's going to take that long. It might take longer. We've taken over a year on an album, you know, before. I think not Secret Weapon. I think Self-Titled took us almost a year just to work out all the songs. And here's the thing: it's not like we're spending a year every day working out songs. It's all of the other things we got to do with MxPx, all the other things people have to do in their lives. And I'm writing as we're working at songs. I'm like writing new songs. So some of the songs we worked out, they don't make the record. They're demos. Boom, done. And then this new song takes its place, and that's now the record. So that's why it takes so long. Not because it's us working on 10 songs for 6 months. No, it's like, it's not really what it is. But it does have to be timed right, with energy, momentum, and the emotional energy from the band. The band has to be into it. And if you take too long, they're going to get tired of it. And if it's rushed, they're not going to have their whole heart into it. If it's rushed, they're going to know. They're going to know. How will they know? They just know. I know, you know, we all know when something's rushed. My family just mooned me out the window. That happened. So life is good. Life is really good. All right. I hope I answered your question. I think I did. Let's get to a couple more.
Hey, Mike, this is Rick from Canada. I just have a quick, cool memory that I had with you guys, and then a question. The memory is, I used to live in Kamloops, BC, and I remember you guys came and played a show in this little tiny hall, and I was in one of the opening bands, and I remember when you guys were playing, I was back, like, behind the drummer, or kind of, like, to the side, and I was sitting on your guitarist's amp, and kind of leaning against it while you guys were playing. And all of a sudden, during the song, he turned around really fast and, like, tried to, like, figure out what was going on. And then I looked down, and because I had leaned on it, I had unplugged it. I think so. That was, I either unplugged his guitar cable, or it was the plug. I can't remember, but I just remember that I felt like so stupid. And he just quickly ran back, plugged it back in, and just kept playing like nothing happened. And I don't think anyone even noticed. But that was pretty cool. That was in Kamloops. The other thing, the question I had for you is... Hold on. I had, like, your guy...
Hold on. Okay, let me talk about this real quick, because I always forget about the first thing after hearing the second thing. Kamloops, yeah. The Pirates, a band from Vancouver. Actually, I guess they were from Kamloops, some up there. They brought us down, and we had played with them in Vancouver, BC. The first time we played Vancouver, I think. And Billy Bones was the guy. He's a great guy. I'm sure he's still around doing stuff. He had a guitar company for a while that it was called Sparrow Guitars, and he made me a guitar in the Tumbledown days, and it was so cool. I wish I had more traction with Tumbledown, and it helped his guitar company out more. But yeah, I remember that show. I don't remember you knocking anything out. Good job. It happens, and it obviously, by Tom's reaction, we were pretty used to random things happening on stage, cables getting unplugged, power cables getting unplugged, whatever it is. You just got to be prepared and just fix it and move on. I remember that show because, one, the show was great. As far as I don't remember any details from the actual show, but I remember driving there and back. And when we drove, I don't know if it was the way there or the way back, we're driving at night through a blizzard, and we almost died. I mean, we almost ran off the road in our van, barely made it. I remember it was pretty rough. And like those early years of taking drives through storms, dangerous traffic, whatever it is, our van breaking down. I mean, we went through so many hard times on the road that it must have just given us so much strength and built us up. Like you can get through that. You can get through that. I don't think we thought of it like that back in those days. we didn't think of stoicism ever back in those days. Didn't know about it, but really it was kind of like practicing poverty. I mean, in this case, we really were poor. We didn't have any other means to get to these shows than this broken down van, and so we were practicing poverty in a way that we weren't really practicing. We were actually experiencing poverty. I say that lightly. I don't say like we were destitute and homeless. We had a home to go back to. But in Stoicism, they say practice poverty because someday you might be, right? So if you lose it all, then you'll already know how to deal with your life. You'll already have experienced loss. So I think touring has really just forced us to practice poverty over the years. And we still have a good attitude about life. We still enjoy traveling and touring and realize that, things are going to happen. Nothing's perfect. And you got to roll with the punches, and you got to make lemonade out of those lemons. So, all right.
His albums, and I would listen to it with all my punk rock friends and my skateboard guys that we'd go skating with. And some guys would be like, "Oh, what are you listening to? That's like Christian rock, Christian punk." And I remember telling them my answer to them all the time was, "No, it's not. It's not Christian. They're just Christian guys in a punk rock band." And I don't know why I thought that or what brought me to that, but I just had a question if that is so. I'm a Christian myself, and I used to remember, I don't know where I read it or somehow thought you guys were Christian guys in a punk rock band. I thought that was really cool that you guys weren't playing cheesy Christian music, but you guys were actually cool like that. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Yeah. Oh, well, anybody that grew up listening to MxPx back in the day knows all about it in some way or another. But yeah, I mean, I grew up as a Christian. My family made me go to church as a kid and all that. But it wasn't something that we're like, okay, let's be a Christian band. No, of course not. We were always a punk band, and I just happened to have that faith, So over the years, it definitely can be confusing for people. And it's definitely why a lot of punk rockers hate us or still hate us, hated us, still hate us, won't give us a chance because they just shut that out. Like, that's not for me. That's not for me. But, over the years, Fat Mike is like, dude, I love you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys are truly legit, and it's like, well, you know what? You're truly legit too. It's like, who can say who is legit or not? I'm not a gatekeeper. I won't allow other punk rockers to be gatekeepers. None of my peers are going to gatekeep me. Nobody that's come before me is going to gatekeep me. And I'll do the same. I'm not going to gatekeep people coming after me. So I think I just turned over a new leaf, and it makes me a little mad, actually. But I'm going to stay positive. I'm not going to allow other people to define punk rock for me, and I think I've always kind of lived by that back in the day, and that's why MxPx has stayed true to who we are and stayed true to just being a positive force in music. Whether you're a Christian or not, you can listen to MxPx, and that's really what I wanted. I wanted to stay positive and to be there for anybody that's willing to give us a chance. So thank you so much. I appreciate the call. I appreciate you asking. I hope I answered that well enough. Yeah. All right, one more. Let's do one more. We'll wrap it up. Appreciate you. MxPx.com. A lot of announcements lately. If you haven't been following us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, definitely a big one. Facebook, if you haven't liked our Facebook page, please go over there, give us a like. I know it's crazy, and we're in 2025, and Social media seems to be changing all the time, and it is. We still need you to pay attention to what we're doing. And if you don't like social media, just go up, sign up for our mailing list, either email. You can find it on MxPx.com, or you can sign up to our text list. That would be awesome. The number, I don't even know. You can, it's like 7 something, blah, 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 blah. It's on the show notes, but you can sign up for a text list. All right, let's get to one more voicemail. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to continue working on some songs, get it going, and touch base with the rest of the band. See if they have been practicing poverty lately.
Hey, how's it going? It's Gabe, calling from Clovis, New Mexico. Just wanted to point out your dog's name is Charlie. It's a girl dog named Charlie. Tom Green, famous comedian and author of the Bum Bum song, also has a famous dog named Charlie, also a female dog.
I love it. Yeah, Charlie. We got her about 2 years ago. She's 2. So a little over 2 years ago, maybe we got her. And Hank had passed away the year before. Hank, our little Chihuahua, black Chihuahua dog. R.I.P. Hank. We love him. He was such a good dog. And he was so proud. He would just prance around. And, but Charlie, she's been such a good dog. You know, you never can replace a pet. When you lose a pet, it's right up there. Family member, you know, it's like, it's devastating. And if you haven't had a lot of family members or close people in your life pass away, I mean, a pet feels like the worst thing that could ever happen to you, really. So, I always keep that in the back of my mind, you know, whether it's going to see my parents, hanging out with my pets, hanging out with my kids. It's like, hey, you never know, because tomorrow is not promised. You never know when you're going to pass. It could be tomorrow. It could be 30 years from now. Who knows, right? Let's hope it's 30 years from now, but pets just really make our lives so much more full. And I don't have a ton to say about it. I won't get all cheesy about it, but like, pets really have brought our family together in a really great way. Life can be confusing, but you know, something that's not confusing is the love that our dogs have for us. And it's really easy to give that love back. So, if anything, I think having pets is just a great way to learn about life and responsibility and love and emotions. And unfortunately, it teaches us that hard lesson that nothing gold can stay. Everything good is going to pass. So enjoy it now. Cherish it now. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for listening. I appreciate you guys. This podcast has morphed into a very tight-knit community. I've stopped really promoting outside the community in a lot of ways because I'm not having a ton of guests on. So when I do have guests on, usually, yeah, sure, some of their audience might check it out, but mostly it's you guys. It's this audience every week checking out the podcast. And I'm not saying that it's by choice, but I think because of my schedule and because of what's been going on the last year or two, it's just been so much better to do these types of podcasts, and then now and again have a guest on. Now when I'm back in Washington, I'll have a few more guests as well, because the setup is easier to do that way. But it really has been it's become a tight podcast, and I don't think I'm going to quit doing the podcast, but I just wanted to acknowledge that I don't do this because I think it's like this huge show that's going to go out and like it's going to make news, and it really is kind of like talking to my friends, talking to the community, the MxPx family, and you know, it does travel outside the MxPx community a bit, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it, and I realize that some of the things that I do on this podcast, it's never going to be a big show. It's never going to get picked up by some big network, because I'm not doing things that big networks would want. I'm talking to you. I'm just answering your questions. I'm not doing a lot of research. We're just doing a hangout. So if anything, in the future, we might try something live, but we'd have to change the time we do it. We have to kind of do it at a set time, and I'm down with that. Maybe that's a new podcast. Maybe that's a different show. Maybe that's an MxPx thing. I don't know. But nothing gold can stay. I do know that. So I'm really enjoying even this era of the podcast, this era of people that listen to the podcast and call in. I appreciate you guys. Always great to hear from everybody. If you haven't called in yet and you have just something you've been thinking about, don't be shy. Honestly, nobody cares about what your voice sounds like or what your question is. They just want you to contribute. And that's what I want. I want you to contribute. So call in 360-830-6660. Let me know what's going on. Let me know your favorite parts of the podcast. Let me know what you are missing from the podcast. I'll try to get to it. But just know I appreciate you, and I want to take for granted what we have right here, right now, in this moment. So shout out to Bob McKnight, another guy that I don't want to take for granted. I appreciate you. He's producing the podcast, and he's just an all-around great guy. He has his own podcast called The Bob and Katie Show. Fun, lighthearted, crazy stories. Tune in for it. All right, MxPx.com if you want to support what I do, what we do. And if you want to go a step further, you can always join the fan club PXPX on MxPx.com. It gets you a bunch of stuff, a t-shirt, discount in the store. It gets you access to special pages. I could list more things, but we're gonna fix it up as we go a little bit here and there. But just know we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Peace.